Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shokei Shoujo no Virgin Road. If this episode is late, I'm terribly sorry, but I had a little bit of a mishap, or rather Icons 8 had a little bit of a mishap, and the update to their software that I'm using to make my thumbnails deleted all of my cloud projects. Some of my thumbnail projects are still here because they're local, and some of them, like Virgin Road, were on the cloud. And like a cloud, they went poof. So I'm gonna have to recreate the whole ass fucking thumbnail. But yeah, regardless of that, this episode is here, so that's what matters. It's always the top performer on my channel, by the by, Virgin Road. Always in the ballpark of like 300 views, which is crazy. And am I oversaturated? I think I might be. Just a little bit. Yeah, let's tone down the saturation ever so slightly. Right. In the last episode, we arrived to a new place, to a port city very much inspired by Greece, Cyprus, those kinds of areas, where there is a organization, I guess, the fourth caste, kinda sorta deal. I mean, they call themselves the fourth, and they say they are beyond the call them, the Faust, the noblesse, and the third one, the peasants. Essentially, they are the fourth ones. And I still have a theory that there might be something going on with the lost ones. They might be either worshipping them, or they might stem from some lost one that started the whole organization. I don't know. It remains unclear. What is fairly clear, however, is that they don't really want Menou to be here. Because Flare killed their leader, and here comes young Flairette. Now, Flare is the assassin who takes care of taking care. Yeah, great English here. Is an assassin who takes care of the lost ones. So it stands to reason that the leader of the fourth was a lost one. I highly doubt the church would send Flare, someone as highly regarded in the art of dispatching of the lost ones, to kill some rando in some random village, right? There has to have been some lost one shenanigans. The daughter, I believe, of that leader is still alive, and there's that other girl, that weird girl who's stored inside of an Iron Maiden to perhaps be in a permanent state of death. I don't know what the deal is, but the leader, being the lost one, would kinda sorta maybe explain it, right? What if pure concept is to some degree hereditary? What if that young girl is a little fucked up in the head because of some gene fuckery, but has some superpowers, and if she's alive at night, she wreaks havoc, and that's why she has to be kept inside of that Iron Maiden? I don't know. But the only explanation I can give you is there is some Lost One and pure concept fuckery going on. That's my main suspect right now. Another thing that happened is, of course, Menou tried to get rid of Akari by sending her beyond that fog wall into some pandemonium. Yeah, pandemonium it's called. Yeah, she tried to send her. She tried to send Akari into the pandemonium, hoping that she will be trapped there forever. If she can't kill her, she at least can seal her. But alas, or perhaps luckily, Akari actually managed to escape. She managed to rewind time and land back on the boat with Menou. but not before meeting some monsters inside of the Pandemonium, which leads me to believe we can treat the name Pandemonium fairly literally as like the capital of hell, and not before some light shone onto her, which is probably like the most intriguing thing about the previous episode. Because we haven't had anything that has to deal with light. No character, as of yet, had any, like, light-based powers. Is it a deity looking down upon Akari, trying to save her, trying to forge a pact, trying, I don't know, something? Is it Akari from the future, shining a, I don't know, searchlight? I've absolutely no clue what the deal is. And sure, the weird young girl, that's its own thing. The fourth one, sure, that's its own thing. But the light intrigues me. And I hope we're gonna get at least some clues in this season. It very much feels like something uh, exceeding a season, something that remains a plot point throughout, like, 7 volumes of the light novel or something like that. Not quite spanning the entire series, but fairly long-term arc. And yeah, I hope we at least get some clues so I can theorize just a little bit. Just a little bit. And yeah, I think that covers the summary of the previous episode. So now we will witness, I hope. Oh, right, the new leader of the fourth ones, that girl who is the daughter of the previous leader, uh, I believe poisoned everybody there, so she's not quite as much of a frail and insignificant daughter of a leader. She is very much a cunning and vicious and pretty heartless leader with a fucked up sister. So I guess all that's left is to see what adventures and misadventures await our heroes and villains, because villains are also great in the series. And to do that, we need to watch episode 8. Episode 8, indeed. Episode 8 of Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road. Virgin by Subs, please, as always. And it's gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, last time Dragon Ball Z. Jasmine alloy and white tea. But it didn't quite work. And then there's this. Whatever the fuck it is. Okay, straight into the OP, I guess. Am I too zoomed in? I think I might be. Gonna zoom out just a little bit. Oh yeah, I was definitely zoomed in. Way too far. Sorry to fuck up with the camera. Like, on... Well, that's my mic. Well, it's running, but we're doing it live. I don't edit my videos. They are exactly as you see them. And it's just the OP, so it's not like I'm missing much by fiddling with the camera, am I? Still not satisfied. Okay, it is what it is. I'm gonna leave it as is. Yeah, what's up with that girl? Someone told me in the comments of the previous episode, I think, or on my Discord. Can't recall. That there's something more in that OP, but I don't see it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to analyze it further and more and deeper, if I remember, by the end of this episode. But right now, let's focus on what we see on screen. I mean, what's the risk? Is she gonna die? Plenty, I'm willing to bet. Because she killed the other worlder that was the leader of the fourth. That's my assumption. Freato. Some embryos? Cubes? Uh, I would like one mana channeling plate. Is it like self-heating or something? Where did she get money from? Hmm? Watermelon doesn't have spikes, yeah. Something from the same family. Plenty of fruit in the watermelon family. Poor attempt at an assassination. Let me guess, she can control the knife at will. Yeah, not a great attempt at an assassination. Oh, interesting. Things are falling into place. Would make sense that rebels originate within the Fourth. Oh, I thought she's just gonna electrocute him? But no, just some wires and a mini tornado. Oddly enough, without much killing. It's the. Yeah, that's the leader. And she actually can into espionage. Red. Red. Some different kind of red, though. It's not sucking them in, it's transforming them. Could it be that the little girl's blood is used in this weird magic? I think I might be onto something. The bloodletting with the Iron Maiden isn't just to contain the powers of the little girl, but also to acquire a precious resource. Hmm. She was attacked, though, and the attackers made the much bigger show of it. A receipt? Yeah, a receipt. Uh, the amount? Oh, okay. I mean, what else can she do? Ah, of course. Fair exchange. I want something, you want something, let's trade. Yep. The usual indeed. Monstrine. That's the little girl, isn't it? Little girl's blood. That the drug is made of the little girl's blood. Body, blood. There we go. What if there is someone who can be a permanent sacrifice? Someone who you can drain dry of blood, but they just recover. Huh. I thought it was red they were using, but no, they are apparently using the Monstrine. Momo deserves all the pats. Uh, did she climb into her bed? They are really emphasizing her ass in this episode, aren't they? uh, nope, that's the best way to wake up. I love how goofy this series can be at times. hmm That won't be easy. She's a formidable enemy. Called it. But its pure form turns people into monsters. I mean, she stayed true to her word. The food wasn't poisoned with poison. It was poisoned with Monstrine. Everybody here has taken Monstrine. That was the poison. Snap, she turns. Pure concept of chaos? Excuse me? Pure concept of chaos? Okay. Uh, so I was correct again. The leader used to be a lost one. Okay, something deeper. Something deeper. It's not her own plan. Is it the plan of that little girl, maybe? Or her mother's last wish? Or is there someone else working behind the scenes? Reflection in the table. Ah. Machine for making lolly candy. Should stick a stick into it to make lollipops. Mama is having fun. Humst. Oh! Hello! Hello, princess! No hesitation. No hesitation at all. Okay, we're spending some quality time together. Princess is having a martini or something. Momo is having milk on the rocks. Angry chewing. Enemies based on the concept of original sin. Hmm. She studied her monster manual. Hmm. Please explain. I'm curious. That's where the sin comes from? Or rather, the sin magic? Black hair. The pure concept of chaos. That's the little girl. She's still alive. Either she's still alive but fucked up in the head a little, or her daughter, her younger daughter, actually inherited the pure concept of chaos. Our goals align yet again. Hmm. More angry chewing. I can't be even mad at them for reusing the animation. They're reusing a whole ass scene, but I can't be mad at them. A friendly competition, you say? Yep, yep, yep. Oh ho ho. I mean, you're not particularly inconspicuous. Even more angry chewing. Another reuse of the same scene. I like their dynamic. I really enjoy their dynamic. Will you take me as your plus one? Okay. Ah, of course. Yeah, nice evening dress. A nice black cocktail dress or a red pencil gown. Or like a Chinese dress. Those are popular. Yep, Akari. Is this another scene reuse? Yep, like frame for frame scene reuse. Frame for frame scene reuse. Hmm. I wonder if it's for comedic effect, or is it actually like a budget limitation? That's a nice dress. Very similar to Momo's. And of course, Akari's with them. Is that. I thought for a moment that it's. Okay, it is Menou's dress. It is Menou's usual dress. Her blue robes. Flat gang and boobs. Ask the princess to take her as your to take you as her plus one. Oh, that's a nice transition. That's a very nice transition. Okay, how much of the food is spiced up with Monstrine? I'm betting on all of it. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's the episode. Yeah, that's the episode. Oh, that's gonna be a great arc. I'm gonna preemptively pull out my markers because I have a feeling some of my theories might have been confirmed or unconfirmed, rejected, whatever the opposite of confirmed is. Well, that was one hell of an episode, wasn't it? Feels kind of weird after the last arc ended. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. If I don't lose my train of thought, so I guess I'm just gonna talk about it right now at the evening ball. Okay, so it's essentially like a three-parter, or even more parter. And those are just people credits, so we can safely skip it. Okay, okay. Full screen, and let's go through it again, but not before I talk about what I had in mind regarding the fact that it feels kind of weird after the last arc, and I don't mean it in like a negative sense. It's not. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels odd that the last arc, the previous arc, the whole shebang with what was her face? Orwell. With Orwell, it very much felt like the kind of an arc you have near the end game of the series, or at least if not near the end game, but the kind of an arc you get a few arcs in, like the fifth arc of the series or so. This arc feels very much like one of the first ones because it's very, how should I say it, uh, clear cut, I guess, very user friendly, so to speak. Uh, it's a very clear case of a mystery and an investigation and a little bit of an adventure and some espionage, and everybody is more or less familiar with those concepts, so it would serve well to ease people into the series. The arc with Orwell involved all that more advanced stuff, so to speak. The pure concept of red, the whole attack on the train, Orwell playing seven-dimensional chess, Momo revealing her true power, Asuna revealing her true power, Akari revealing her true power, Menou revealing her true power, right? It very much feels something that's a little bit deeper into the series, where the mystery of the week kind of running stale because every arc Menou and Akari are visiting a new city. They are tasked with investigating something. They investigate, and it keeps repeating, and it's getting kind of stale. So the author wants to shake things up and gives us an arc with Orwell as the main antagonist. It very much feels that way, and that would be like the standard storytelling, the standard progression. We're going from a mystery of the week to Orwell to world-ending catastrophes to battles with gods to timey-wimey shenanigans of 17 Akaris from parallel timelines and whatnot, right? A progressive increase in complexity of stories. We're not saying that. We're starting with a very complex story, and here we're going into something fairly straightforward. I'm not saying it's not complex because there is a lot of moving parts here, right? The light, who's the little girl, the pure concept of chaos, all that jazz. But all in all things considered, it's fairly straightforward, at least compared to Orwell, where the fact that Orwell was even a villain was revealed like by the very end of the arc. In this arc, it's very clear, right from the get-go, right from the setup, who's the villain of the story and what are they doing and what not. That's what I wanted to say about the whole thing feeling weird. Not bad, mind you. Yet again, let me repeat myself. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels different, unusual. Okay, with that out of the way, we can go over this episode again. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, OP. Right, someone told me that I should pay closer attention to this. I don't necessarily know why. I think I got all I needed to get from it. Here's her, hiding behind the fan. There's a sea of blood. The little girl has a crazy look on her face. There's blood splashing. And a flood of blood. There's that castle in the background, and that's it. I really don't know what other hidden meaning there might be. If I'm really missing something obvious, I guess let me know. As long as it's not a spoiler, I don't mind. That's essentially my policy. If there's something that's just my general policy on spoilers. If there's something that was there in the source material but didn't make it to the adaptation and would enhance my understanding and my viewing experience, it's perfectly fine to mention it. If it's a spoiler for something that will happen in the future, I don't know, 7 volumes in, that's a spoiler, please don't. But if it's something that was omitted, that was skipped, that was left unsaid, please do. Worth mentioning, or did I mention it before? I don't know. The whole scene when they were traveling outside of the city and traveling on those meadows and whatnot. It's apparently a very dangerous land. It's arid, it's dry, there's monsters, there's, uh, I don't know, lack of water, lack of anything, and for some reason in the anime they made it look like a stroll among some Irish meadows. So that's something that I would actually want to know about because it puts the whole thing into a brand new perspective. The correct one, assuming of course the source material is the source of truth. They really are focusing a lot on Akari's ass in this episode. Did you notice? Like a lot. I don't think there was another episode before where they were focusing this much on Akari's ass. It's gonna spawn some fan art, isn't it? It better. Weird watermelon. There are items that channel Magecraft. That's a great set of broken plates that apparently channel Magecraft. I guess they're either self-heating or self-cooling or self-cleaning. They don't look self-cleaning. That's for sure. Where did she get money from? I have no clue. Why did Menou attack her like that? That also seems kind of weird. Instead of taking a bite, playing along, she just snatched the watermelon and slammed it into Akari's mouth. I thought for a moment that she might be evading some attack by assassins and using this as a cover, but it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like assassins are there yet, so I don't know. I don't know why it happened the way it happened. It's a cool scene, don't get me wrong, but just don't know why. Anyway, it's a watermelon. Very weird watermelon, but watermelon nonetheless. Uh, Plants from this family, fruit from this family really comes in all shapes and sizes. From watermelon to zucchini to just the regular uh, what's it called? The regular, like, long and green thing that I forgot. Cucumber. To just a regular cucumber, right? To like all sorts of spiky cucumbers, brown cucumbers. There is some kind of a plant that is like a cross between a watermelon and a cucumber, which just tastes like sweet cucumber. There's a lot, so wouldn't surprise me if a fruit like this actually did exist somewhere, or if it was possible to breed a watermelon to be like this. Flame shot. Yeah, they're not exactly trying to be inconspicuous. I thought they are going for an assassination, but apparently not. They are going for a show. And of course, Menou was prepared for it. She had Akari hold her knife for a reason. Obviously, she wouldn't just leave Akari unattended. Weird that she didn't kill them. I guess she wanted to avoid making even more of a scene. She wanted to avoid traumatizing Akari. Makes sense. Makes sense in hindsight. And um, the true master of the plan, the true mastermind behind it all. She actually can into espionage. She can actually blend in. She can actually remain invisible. And she acts through proxy. Turns those people into monsters. Pastor Cecilia really is tired of Menou's bullshit. There's no such place that takes otherworlders in after all. That's interesting. What is this sanctuary then? I mean, it has to be a place. It has to be somewhere, since Menou is traveling there with a clear goal in mind. I promise I'll find a way before we get to the sanctuary, so it is an actual place. It's not like Menou just made up some bullshit and is planning to drag Akari all across the country and all across the world in a perpetual pursuit of a way to kill her. It's an actual, like, place on the map where you can actually go. So if it's not a place that takes in the other worlders, what is it? It's significant, is what it is, but it's not like it's a magical place that can kill any other worlder, because not even like Orwell had a chamber prepared to do that. So I don't know if a technology or science or magic like that even exists in the first place. It's not a sanctuary for other worlders. I have no clue what it is. Like a bottomless pit. I have no idea. And of course, I can't give you money for nothing, but if you investigate one teeny tiny little thing for me, we'll see what can be done. Invoking Sin Magecraft most often involves human body, spirit, or soul. Well, the body and the blood. There are people being sacrificed, thankfully just one person. There are very few people who have gone missing. Yeah, because there's just one person. As I said, a lot of focus on Akari's ass. And yeah, as I mentioned, I like how silly and goofy this series can be at times. Right? At the moment, at times it's a lolly being packed into an Iron Maiden. At times it's Akari just rolling around the bed. Sometimes it's a gory scene of people being transformed into monsters and then promptly slaughtered. Sometimes it's a shot of Akari's ass. There's a lot of variety, I guess. Etheric tool for producing it. And this is important. She invokes Ether Living Sacrifice chaos adhesion, pure concept chaos, summon tangled jump rope. Jesus Christ. Like, I fully understand why their magic system is based on scriptures and script and text, because having to yell that out as an attack or to invoke it wouldn't work. Okay, Ether Living Sacrifice. Living Sacrifice, that's fairly obvious. It's the little girl in the Iron Maiden. Chaos Adhesion, I've no clue. Or is it like Chaos Adhesion, the Ether Living Sacrifice? Chaos can adhere to that. The people there have the Ether Living Sacrifice inside of them. So now her pure concept of chaos can adhere to that, and that can trigger the summon tangled jump rope. I think that's what it means. I'm not sure. And the tangled jump rope is arms that just strangle you. You're a failure who never inherited your mother's power, how dare you. Well, she clearly has some sort of a power. So, yeah. Revenge towards Flairette, the apprentice of Flair who killed my mother. And this is the key to everything. But, and yeah, this is important. Before the original sin, it was like 1,000 years ago or so. Yeah, that's when the blood and flesh that fell from her became monsters. The blood from that little girl turns people into monsters. She's a descendant of some sort, isn't she? Pure concept of chaos. Okay, so Sin Magecraft is an imitation of her pure concept of chaos. But she was invoking chaos. Pure concept chaos. Clearly. Not Sin Magecraft chaos, pure concept chaos. Hmm. At least that little girl has to be a descendant of the original bearer of the pure concept of chaos. But it was like 1,000 years ago, wasn't it? So, was it 1,000 years ago? Let me see that. I think they mention it somewhere. Yeah, 1,000 years ago. That's many, many generations. That's at least like, let's say 5 generations per century. 10 centuries, that's 50 generations. Someone with a pure concept of chaos, a bloodline with a pure concept of chaos was allowed to exist for 50 generations, and it wasn't culled at any point in time? That's weird. Is it like a inert thing that needs some sort of a trigger to be awakened? Did the descendants of the original bearer of pure concept of chaos not, rather they inherited the pure concept but in some sort of inert form? and right now they found a way to make it no longer inert? Or do both the sisters actually have an inert pure concept of chaos? It's just through that Iron Maiden they can make use of it. I think that might be it. And I'm gonna take a note of it. Shield Hero, Spy Family, Skeleton Knight, Revue, Starlight, Simple Gear, Virgin Road. There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. What was I on about? Right, the pure concept of chaos. Concept of chaos is inert in the bloodline. Iron Maiden somehow utilizes it. Okay, that's a theory and a half. Yeah, I think that's genuinely the best explanation. Because the other explanation would be that the pure concept of chaos didn't manifest in anybody for 1,000 of years, and only now it manifested in the sisters. Besides, the elder sister didn't show any power over the pure concept of chaos. Neither did the little sister. So I'm assuming she needs that Monstrine, that globule of Monstrine, to be able to control other Monstrine. And she's the only one who can control it because she is still of the bloodline. That's actually another thing worth mentioning. Older sister can control Monstrine thanks to her bloodline nonetheless. There we go. Okay, let's continue. The ghost fantasies materialized into demons. The thing sealed within the pandemonium is the very source of the monsters that ravage our world. And yet they sometimes, somehow, manage to make their way out because there are monsters in this world. I had that theory before, in the last episode, that the pandemonium shield fog is falling apart, and that was the ray of sunshine on Akari's forehead. It was a hole in the pandemonium. Could it be that after all those hundreds of years it's finally giving out? More angry chewing. Yeah, who gets more intel wins. Of course, Momo can't pass up the opportunity to make a dress for Menou. Scenery use, another scenery use. We got like 3 scenery uses from the angry chewing of Momo, and now we're getting a scenery use here. I guess it kind of fits, but it's also a little bit of a stretch, to be honest with you. Just a little bit of a stretch to fit this dialogue and this situation into this scene. I I wonder what caused it. I genuinely wonder why so many scenery uses. The best case scenario is that it's for comedic effect, which is probable, sure. Another explanation would be that the budget is running out, and I would hate for that to happen. I want this series to end with a bang, not with a whimper. Another explanation is that they were somehow short on time making this episode, but they could fairly easily substitute some scenes with copies of others to cut down on the production time. Huh. Interesting, interesting. Well, this episode wasn't delayed. I guess we'll have to see. I'm just gonna knock on wood that further episodes aren't delayed, but I'm getting kinda antsy here. That's a nice dress. I would have expected something a little bit more extravagant from Momo, but it's a fairly simple dress. Looks very much like Momo with the little frill around her waist. And it's very sticking to her figure. The blue sash, I'm assuming, as a signifies her blue robe status, kinda sorta. It's a nice dress, but I expected something more from Momo, to be perfectly honest with you. And now we have Akari's armpits on the first plane. Great. And yeah, of course she's here. She's a pure and just and strong priestess. And focus on her boobs. Wait, what is her arm doing? What's her arm doing? It's like bent backwards. It's like I can't bend my arm like that. Is it like a perspective thing? Or is it a genuine animation error? That her elbow is bent backwards. Damn, I just noticed it. The subs are obstructing it, I guess. Yeah, I just noticed it. It really looks weird. Huh. Yeah, here her elbows bend like backwards because she's holding a book and her other arm is like that. But here they're bent forwards. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it be. I really like this transition. Yeah. A little bit of shifting, a little bit of like parallax effect. And we're zooming past Momo into where the action takes place. Man only Bell, and she already knows who you are. Makes direct eye contact, and the food or the drink, or both, are probably poisoned with Monstrine. Where it goes, nobody knows. Gonna have to wait until the next episode. It's gonna be a wait. Okay, yeah, this scene. Uh, I want to take a little bit of a look at my previous theories first, and then we're gonna talk about this episode a little bit more. If there is anything to talk about, honestly, I think I covered most of it during the discussion segment. Those are very general theories. Momo has to hunt down Menou, or Momo joins Menou on her escape with Akari. Well, that's like long since not confirmed because they don't have to escape from Orwell. Uh, Akari has bad memories from original world. We don't know that. Menou defeats Flare. We don't know that. Could Akari rewind people to their original worlds? We don't know that. Uh-huh. The kid that has to be kept in the Iron Maiden to keep her from transforming into a monster. We don't know that. That's a possibility. I mean, her blood, drug made from her blood, turns people into monsters, so it's not outside of the realm of reason to believe that she herself might be turning into a monster. Child monster arc, I guess kinda. That arc is kinda centered around her, so I'm gonna mark it in green. Older sister poisoned her father, we don't know that. Pandemonium shield is falling apart, we don't know that, although there is a strong indication that it is the case. And the two brand new theories are from this episode, so we don't know their confirmation or otherwise either. That pure concept of chaos is inert in the bloodline and Iron Maiden somehow utilizes it, and that the older sister can control Monstrine thanks to her bloodline nonetheless. Okay. This seems still like part of the setup. Kinda. Maybe not part of the setup, but the beginning of an arc. The previous episode was a setup. It set up the current location, the current city, people involved, and all that. This episode established what's gonna be the story of this arc. Trying to figure out the whole Monstrine deal. Yeah, that's gonna be the story of this arc. Trying to figure out what's the deal with Monstrine, how to stop distribution of it, what to do about the older sister, about the younger sister. They will probably both have to die, let's be honest here. Or maybe, actually, outrageous as it may be, I'm gonna note it down. Maybe Akari can do something for the younger kid. Oh. Akari can do something for the younger kid. Maybe erase her memories, maybe turn her back in time somehow. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily gonna happen, but I'm willing to give myself the benefit of the doubt and think that it just might. Now, where do I suppose this arc is going to go? It will probably have to end with both of the sisters having to die. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really see any other out. If their bloodline is actually inert and it's actually that Iron Maiden that allows them to tap into the pure concept of chaos, then maybe just the little kid can be left alive. The little sister, maybe, probably, possibly. I think I would prefer that ending to the ending where both the younger and the older sister die. I mean, for sure, right? No matter how you spin it, she is an innocent kid. She doesn't seem to even have the mental capacity to understand what she's doing. So, yeah. And now there's the matter of why isn't she dying? Because I don't suppose that she was enclosed in that Iron Maiden just once, and that made for the entire supply of Monstrine. It has to be periodical. So does she have some regenerative powers? Does she have the pure concept of chaos? Was she blanched? That's why she's so weird. I don't know. Yeah, that little kid is still a mystery. And how the bloodline and how the inheritance of the pure concept works, that's also a mystery. It's 1,000 years. And the bloodline wasn't culled. That has to be for a reason. I don't know. I don't have enough information. And I don't want to waste any more of your time and any more of my time just speculating baselessly. So I think I'm just gonna end it here, and kind of scared of what's gonna happen regarding the quality of the show. Now, don't get me wrong, the quality hasn't dropped or anything like that, but the scene reusal worries me a little bit, and I'm mostly just excited for what's coming next. I want to know more about the pure concept of chaos. I want to know more about how its inheritance works. I want to know more about the sisters, and I hope we're going to learn more about it in the next episode. That's one hell of a cliffhanger, though. It really is one hell of a cliffhanger. If it was a non-seasonal show, I probably would have watched the next episode like right away. But alas, I have to wait a week. Oh well. I guess now it's your turn, you watching it, to tell me in the comments down below or on my Discord server right here what you thought of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories. Just again, keep it spoiler free. If there is some detail that was omitted in the adaptation and it would do me good to know it, please do share, absolutely. But if it's a spoiler, I'd rather you keep it to yourself, or you join the Discord server, join the channel of Virgin Road, and just use spoiler tags to talk with fellow people who are also privy to the source material and don't mind talking spoilers. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases, not just Virgin Road, but also Skeletonite in Another World, Symphogear G, Revue Starlight, Spy X Family, and Shield Hero Season 2. Click the bell, all that, just to be notified. I also stream sometimes, so that might be another incentive for you to do that. You can support me monetarily if you really like what I'm doing, or if you want to get early access to non-seasonal shows, which is Symphogear and Revue Starlight. Link to my Patreon is down in the description. For $10, you get early access. For just $1, you get a role on my Discord server that gives you access to a special Patreon-only channel, and you also get a place in the credits, which is something that every single tier gets. And if you want to support me but don't necessarily want to spare some money, don't want to, open the old wallet, you can of course also do that, and I appreciate you spreading the word about my channel, about my content, sharing the videos. It really is very important for the growth of the channel that the viewers themselves also spread the word through the grapevine. You can't count purely on YouTube's discovery, alas. Anything else I need to mention? I don't think so. Join my Discord, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. So that's gonna be it for me for today. And as always, you guys all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the credits I mentioned, and you get to be here no matter your subscription tier.